Your cooperation is appreciated. DUP representatives are located throughout the stadium and happy to assist you at any time during the game. We appreciate your support and hope you enjoy today's game. Assisted by Jacob Meyer and Marcelo Soto. The alternative is Richard Black. This is the team is the Omaha Breakers. And starting from the defense number, Seth Zimmerman, a midfield number 6, a midfield Elias, a forward number 10, Diego Gutierrez, for 11, Beto Gomez, a midfield number 13, Andreas Johnson, a midfield number 6, Marcos Bautista, field number 18, Cole Olsen, at defense number 24, Gonzalo Valdez, at defense number 28, Capiteo, and at goalkeeper number 30, Jeremy Pollard. The Mavericks are coached by Bob Warwick. Now, the home team for today's match, the Western Shore X. Sean Shore defense number 3, Cameron Chorizo. At midfield number 4, Daisuke Asuka. At midfield number 5, Paul Kirschner. At midfield number 8, Caleb Ryland. At midfield number 9, Cesar Carvio. At midfield number 11, Ariane Moran. At midfield number 15, Duval. At defense number 18, Kyle Owen. At midfield number 22, Christian Jutta. At forward number 24, Ryan Boyd. And at goalkeeper number 33, Timothy Truck. 11 extra are controlled by Director Johnson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and move your mats to stand and for the playing of our national anthem. In celebration of the spirit of American sportsmanship, we ask that you stand and recognize the symbols of our nation. Presenting the coach today, please welcome the Mile High Honor from Buckley, race. Thank you. Thank you once again to the Omaha Buccaneers.
Welcome to the Mile High City. It's the Summit League Men's Soccer Championship, and we couldn't be happier. We've got a beautiful day. We've got an afternoon of men's soccer and a lot at stake here. Alongside Chris Bianchi, I'm Brad Thompson. Thanks for everyone who's joining us on this one. We've got a terrific afternoon, beautiful weather. We're in the mid-50s here. We've got an all natural grass surface here at the University of Denver Soccer Stadium. The first matchup, the number 1 seed, the Western Illinois Fighting Leathernecks, taking on the number 4 seed, the Omaha Mavericks. First semifinal match of the day. Chris, we've got an exciting day of college soccer and a lot at stake here.
Yeah, it's a 1 seed versus a 4 seed. Interesting game here, though. The 4 seed beat the 1 seed earlier on in the season. Omaha beating Western Illinois in both teams' conference opener back on October the 5th by a 3-1 scoreline. Western Illinois, though, since that game has gone on an absolute tear. They are 5-1-1 since then. They started the season 0-11, and they've certainly picked it on up, particularly offensively, and they come in to this tournament as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, very interesting fact. That was the only match they lost during league play. Yeah. The number 1 seed, as you mentioned, 4-1. Western Illinois' overall record, 5-12-1. Omaha comes in 3-8-4, 2-2-1 in league play, and they are the 4 seed here. The top 4 out of 6 teams advancing here as quickly. We are underway from the Mile High City, the University of Denver, the host university here for the Summit League Men's Soccer Championship, because they won the regular season a season ago. And so this year, with Western Illinois being the number 1 seed, everyone next season will be trying to get to Macomb at the end of the year to play in this tournament. And quickly, the Leathernecks on the attack. They are in the white uniforms. They are the home team as the #1 seed here. As we get going, a sunsplash day here in Denver, Colorado, and an afternoon of men's soccer. And when you talk to both these coaches and these teams, they all know there's so much at stake. This could be the last game, the last match of the season if things don't go their way. So it's all on the line here this afternoon.
And of course, for the seniors, this will be their final game of their collegiate careers. So always a little bit of extra momentum when we head into the postseason like this. But two teams that come in prepared kind of in different ways. For Omaha, they are certainly a bit more stout defensively, a team that hasn't scored. They've had more offensive woes, while on the other side of things for Western Illinois, it has been the offense that has been going, but they're giving up over 2 goals a game. And so something's going to give a little bit. Either Omaha's going to figure it out a bit more offensively, or Western Illinois may figure things out a bit more on the defensive side of things.
We've got a foul here.
Find the ball white.
We'll see how they work it out. Here's another look at it. Coming in from behind.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say that it looks like it's Rita there who comes in late. I think that Omaha wanted a card there. Maybe a bit of an early warning here from the referee, but probably not quite into yellow card territory, though that was probably getting a little bit close. It was a little bit late there from Cameron Tarita, the true freshman from McKeesport, Pennsylvania.
Cesar Ibarra is today's referee in the first semifinal match. ORU, the #2 seed, taking on Denver, the #3 seed, at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So that'll be the second semifinal matchup here this afternoon. And the winning 2 programs will match up for the Summit League Championship in the final on Saturday, as that one played all the way into the bench of the Mavericks. Western Illinois, coached by Dr. Eric Johnson, in his 23rd year at Western Illinois. We have 2 very veteran coaches that know each other well. They matched up when Coach Bob Warming was at Creighton, a little bit closer, and then he went over to Penn State. But Coach Bob Warming in his 42nd year, and coaching the Mavericks in just his 2nd year in Omaha. But 2 coaches know each other well, very veteran coaches, and it was interesting talking to both of them yesterday on their relationship. They both love each other, they have great respect for each other. Friends for a long time, obviously competitors for a long time as well. So 2 veterans here matching up in this one, and they know what their teams are about. They know what the other team's about. So when you match up for the second time in the season, it's, comes down a little bit more execution than some tactics and strategy.
Yeah, although I think you'll see some tactics here today, again, with 2 kind of lopsided teams. One team particularly offensively driven, another one maybe a bit more defensively honed in. But here maybe an early chance for Western Illinois from a set piece.
They're going to play it in the top of the box, headed out of there. And the Mavericks able to get possession and play it down along the far side. A little counter action here from the Mavs. Looks like Gutierrez was going to take a shot there at the top of the box, and then the whistle comes a little bit late there. But Diego Gutierrez, a name that Omaha fans are very familiar, a local product, former walk-on, and he's been terrific. Although we haven't seen him as much this year, got hurt in the Creighton game, and Coach Warming saying he hasn't quite rounded into the form that we're used to seeing, especially from last year.
Yeah, Gutierrez, league scorer a year ago, 1 goal, 2 assists so far this season. As you mentioned, injured mid-season, but gets a favorable call here. Let's see what he can do from about 20 yards just outside the 18-yard box.
Nil Ayats, a freshman from Spain, also right there, number 8. We'll see who ends up taking the kick as they're backing the wall up here.
Imagine from here you're going for goal.
That one just going wide. Wow, you were all over that one. And Tim Trilk there from our angle over here in the booth, he was going to let that one go. He must have had a good read on it, but a all-league, first-team all-league Summit League performer, but not much movement from him there.
Yeah, that ball hadn't beat. That's the reason why. I mean, Trillick's a veteran enough keeper, a senior. He knows that ball hadn't beat. If he dives, it's just for show there. Honest to goodness. And that's a credit to Gutierrez, who puts a really good set piece on, just misses. That whizzes by what? Brad, maybe a foot or two. Just wide of goal there. Again, 20 yards out, and maybe another chance here for Omaha. Gutierrez flashing a pretty good boot a second ago. Let's see if him or Ayats can do it again here. It's a little further, though. This is 30. This is...
Yeah, this is out
You
there.
can go for goal for here, but it's a bit far, I would think.
You can see that Trilk, Tim Trilk, the keeper, is shading his eyes a little bit with the sun. Now he's directing traffic here on that wall, making sure he's looking off the far post there. But the sun low in the sky there to the south, as we'll see what happens here. Also keep an eye on Gutierrez there. Came up limping there on that right leg as this one sent into the box. Now it's popped up.
Move track right.
And headed out of there. Not clear of danger, though. Mavs looks to set things up here.
Stop!
Pass deflected. Daisuke Otsuka there, number 4, able to come up with it. And now they play it back to that back line. Possible turnover here.
By the way, really nice play there from Ed Gordon. That looked like, from Western Illinois, and that looked like that was going to be a dangerous counterattack for a second there. But Gordon, the holding mid, comes on over, makes a very clean, very good tackle there, holds up the run of play and the counterattack just enough for his defense to recover, and it nearly, as you said there, Brad, nearly leads to a turnover. So nice play there from Ed Gordon. Again, something that won't go down on the stat sheet, but that's good work there from the junior.
Gordon from Omaha, Nebraska, the local product, Creighton Prep. Mavericks able to get it back. Playing it out wide. Miguel Gomez on the far side. Redshirt sophomore from El Paso. And here come the Fighting Leathernecks. And we're going to get a call here, a foul against Omaha. So another set piece, almost in a similar position here for the Fighting Leathernecks as they get to set things up. Let's take another look.
Yeah, so looks like it's Duval going down, the ball up to Duval, and actually it's Duval there with the ball, and he gets taken down. Pretty clear foul there, but also not really. It's a yellow card territory. But set piece opportunity coming up here for the Fighting Leathernecks.
This one played in deep and headed out of there by the Mavericks. Pop back up, and no trouble for Jeremy Pollard, redshirt junior from Sydney, Australia. Comes up with that easily here, and regular season is finished. You know, when you talk to these coaches and the players, it's the best time of year. It's the postseason, right? You have you kind of have a clean slate here. You know, there's so much more on the line than there is during the regular season. You kind of have non-conference play, then you have conference play. Now you're into the postseason. Every player, every team here, so we get a foul on the other side.
And Omaha continues to look for a yellow card. I think Coach Bob Warming upset here with Cesar Ibarra, the referee, that we haven't seen a yellow yet. I didn't think that was one there. That's just clearly going for ball there. But again, if you're Western Illinois, probably going to be a little careful. You don't want to get into the book this early. That means you have to obviously play a bit more cautiously, maybe an extra substitution or two extra throughout the game. But again, I didn't see a yellow card there, but clearly the Omaha bench is starting to say, you know what, these fouls are getting a little late and they're starting to accrue. Where's the yellow card here?
Well, again, with so much on the line, we're talking about knockout soccer here. You're going to see the intensity. You're going to see players leaving it all out there, and maybe not as physical as you. And they're going to play their game like they have all season, but there's just a little bit extra intensity here in postseason soccer. There's more on the line. As we've got a turnover here, the Fighting Leathernecks with a chance. It's going to end up as a corner.
Wonderful block there from Mateo, who comes over. The native, Barcelona, Spain native comes on over. It makes the block in Cosio. Cosio going for goal. Looked like it's a tough angle there for Cosio, but he had the shot open, and Mateo able to read it smartly, comes on over, and you see why Mateo names the All-Newcomer League the senior from Barcelona, Spain, making the critical block.
Mateo's had an absolute outstanding season. And speaking of outstanding season, Paul Kirkdorf, the Summit League Defensive Player of the Year, is going to take that corner. He's got it back here on the run. Splits two defenders and just too much on that touch as he was working in between two players for the Mavericks there.
Look at where Kirkdorf is. He's on the ball right now. That's your right back. All the way
finally punched out of there and over the head. And Coach Warming saying this is the best right back we played against all season. Like, there's no question about his ability. He's tremendous. And the Summit League banquet, soccer banquet, was last night. Man, Kirkdorf Summit League Defensive Player of the Year, obviously a first-teamer with that acknowledgement of the Defensive Player of the Year. Junior from Germany, and he's terrific. You got to watch out for him. Coach Warming said we got to know where he is at all times. You don't often say that about a right back.
Yeah, no, and Kirkdorf is playing the Brazil. If you're a fan of soccer, if you follow the Brazil teams of the late 1990s, where the fullbacks would come up and basically act as midfielders, that's the way Kirkdorf is playing right now. He's playing basically as a midfielder, but he's listed as right back. Ooh, nice ball.
Gutierrez able to run onto this one on the far side of the field, in deep, working into the box, and that one punched out of there. If that made it all the way through, there's going to be trouble. Here's another chance now, into the middle.
Get out, get out!
Omaha still maintaining possession.
Keep mark up, Kyle.
That was Kyle Owen, the true freshman on the newcomer team, with 2 critical blocks there to help, as you mentioned there. That was a really, really offsides here. That was a really, really important set of blocks there from Owen, the true freshman from Oklahoma City, who comes on in and makes 2 absolutely critical blocks, especially as you mentioned there, Brad. It was that first one there. That looked like that was going to be a shot on goal and from about 10 yards out. So I gotta say this though, that's Omaha's come in here and they're playing pretty well. They're struggling. They haven't scored a goal in over a month. Based on the way they played here in the first dozen minutes or so, they are not playing like a team that is that offensively starved right now. And I'm pretty impressed with what we've seen from the Mavericks, despite the fact that they're 4-seeded. And again, there's little doubt about the fact that they're struggling right now, or they're not coming in the best of form. But they have come in here and taken it a little bit here to Western Illinois.
One thing we haven't mentioned yet, as we're over 12 minutes into this one, talking to Coach Warming yesterday, a bit of unfortunate news from an illness standpoint. He said 5 guys on the team this week did not train at all due to bronchitis, and that's not the that's not a type of illness you want coming to altitude to try and play in such an intense battle like this. He did not, would not tell me who those 5 players are, but when you look at the starting lineup, we can kind of factor in. Is this one's going to go just wide of the far post? My goodness, what a chance there. Meringue off the head there. We had a great angle from up here in the press box. A beautiful ball in.
That's, as you mentioned, beautiful ball in from Ragland. That goes right in the middle of the box and wide open. Where's the marking there from Omaha? And as you mentioned, Meringue wide open. Those you don't get too many chances like that there. Semifinal game like that, I think it's a very good, very senior, 2 seniors there at center backs. You're not going to get too many opportunities like that, and it's not to necessarily bash Meringue there, but that is a wide open look right in the middle of the box. Everything perfectly executed. I think just a tiny bit off there on that flicking header. That was looking back post. That clearly had Jeremy Pollard, the Omaha keeper, beat. Again, just a touch off there on the execution. Otherwise, 1-0 Western Illinois.
Ooh. Caleb Ragland leading the team with 3 assists, the freshman from Wichita, Kansas, with the ball in there. And just to finish that thought for Coach Warming, the illness running through Omaha, bronchitis, so we'll see how they substitute, who comes in. Some of the names, Aaron Uribe, not out there to start things. Mitch Hammer, not out there. Martin Vase, all players that we expect to see as this ball sent in and cleared out of there. Ed Gordon sends that over near his bench.
Kirkdorf here.
That was Hermanson and Kirkdorf there. That nice battle on the far side. A couple of nice touches here, trying to come up with something, and Otake went down there, and Fighting Leathernecks looking for the call, the foul. They did not get it.
Look here, the amount of space at the outside backs here. These outside backs for Western Illinois are clearly elite players, very, very dangerous. Hagelin on the left and Kirkdorf, as you mentioned, the Summit League Defensive Player of the Year, on the right. They're getting, in my opinion, they're getting a bit too much space here early on. They're getting pretty clear crosses into the middle of the box. Again, 2 very, very good players there on the outside for Western Illinois. You see their quality. If I'm Omaha, I'm going to try and close down a little bit to try and prevent some of those balls into the box. Again, that's on the defensive side of things, but I think offensively what we've seen from the Mavericks has been pretty promising. Again, just defensively, I would try and close down a little bit on those outside backs.
Pep Mateu, terrific season. Coach really highlighting him yesterday and talking to him. And quickly here, Omaha with a chance into the middle there. Well done defensively to stop that, and then just cleared out, sent all the way down. Omaha with a couple of chances as they're building up, but it's really been on some of these counters. All of a sudden you get Gutierrez up top there with some room. He's got it here on the near side. And he goes down. Nice tackle that time, taking that one away.
And that's Haglund there, the guy who had the ball into the box that was nearly the opener for Western Illinois. Again, as I mentioned, I think these two Western Illinois outside backs are elite, and we've seen high quality from them so far. Here's the other one. This is Kurdorf with the ball up.
Kurdorf for junior, Ragland here on the near side making that nice tackle, just a freshman. So you've got some talent in a very young man here in Caleb Ragland on the near side.
And by the way, to your point, we've seen a lot of back and forth here. First 17 minutes is kind of what we expected. These two teams did play, as I mentioned, back on October 5th, and it was Omaha winning that one by a 3-1 count. But even during this win streak for Western Illinois, they started at 0-11, as we mentioned. They're 5-1-1 since that 0-11 start. And even in that win streak, they are giving up nearly 2 goals a game. So this is a Western Illinois team that is somewhat, I think it's safe to say, somewhat flawed defensively. Omaha struggling on the offensive side of things. Typically in games like that, you will see things open up, and we have seen that early on here. Normally in a game like this and at the collegiate level, you'll see the first 20, 25 minutes be a bit of a feel-out process, a lot of stale soccer in the middle of the field. That's been the opposite so far here. Again, very open play, back and forth, lots of chances, and I expect that would only continue to increase as the game wears on.
And you really got to hand it to Western Illinois.
Yep.
You know, talking to Coach Johnson, he said we were a very young team at the very beginning. All of our mistakes were punished here as Gutierrez on the ball again here, as Omaha's got something going. They're building up. And Coach Johnson, I said, how'd you keep the team together? How can you go start 0-11 and the team bounce back like that? And make pick up 5 wins after that. That's incredibly impressive. It speaks to a lot of the culture of the team, the attitude of the players, how they handle things, the leadership of the team, Coach Johnson, and how well he was able to keep them believing we still have a lot to play for. They start 0-11, they end up with the #1 seed and hosting the Summit League Men's Soccer Championship a season from now. That's unbelievable when you think 0-11 and you lost your first league match to Omaha. That was the 11th loss in a row, and it's unbelievable when you look at that schedule and think, here they are, the #1 seed.
I need to get those players back next year. As we mentioned, you mentioned there, Brad, this is a young team for Western Illinois, but certainly the credit goes to Dr. Johnson, year number 23, leading this Western Illinois side, and the winningest coach in Summit League history, at least on the men's soccer side of things. So obviously a high pedigree for him, but you see him come into play. It's hard, as you mentioned. I mean, you can say all you want, keep your head up, keep your chin up, but you got to push the right buttons when you go 0-11 to get the confidence up. And they started that with a win at home against the defending champs, the University of Denver, and they got a 4-3 win, and they've turned around since. So again, as you mentioned there, Brad, Dr. Eric Johnson, but both coaches deserve a lot of credit, but particularly I think it's safe to say here what Dr. Johnson's done with the squad that started 0-11, and for them to finish the 1 seed, that is a huge accomplishment. Really
remarkable. And Coach Eric Johnson, the coach of the year, as this ball's played on, and Trilk able to make a diving stop to that. All of a sudden that escalated quickly.
Yeah, that was Ermanson there, the freshman from Sweden, who comes up, basically looked kind of innocent there in the one-on-one. Kyle Owen, the freshman, marking him well from Western Illinois, but Ermanson, one of only 2 players on this Omaha side with 2 goals or more so far this season, and Ermanson there with a solo effort and puts the shot on in a dangerous area, just lacking a little bit on power there, but a pretty good shot there from Ermanson.
Pair of players go down in the box there. No call.
Gutierrez is getting a lot of space here early on. We've seen him on the ball non-stop here, and here he is again.
And again, he was injured against Creighton, missed some of the season, and then, you know, Coach Warming saying, hey, when he came back, it's just taken him a long time to round into form. He's getting there, back to the player that they expected of him and what he's done in the past. So he could be peaking at the right time if you're Omaha.
Yeah, and
one of your best players.
To your point, it seems like Omaha feels that way because clearly the game plan has been get him the ball. They've been getting him the ball like crazy here in the first 20 minutes, and it's led to a couple of pretty promising opportunities as Omaha kind of spoils one there on a missed ball there from, it looked like Ed Gordon, maybe miscommunication between him and Hermanson, but Gutierrez is getting the ball in a lot of dangerous spots.
Eddie, the hole! Number 4, Eddie!
0-0 game, but fun one so far, hasn't it?
It's been entertaining, certainly, and it's what we expect. The top teams in the Summit League coming here to match up, knowing what's at stake, what's on the line. And when you look at this tournament as a whole, you're talking about 4 teams. You know, there's an NCAA tournament bid at stake here. The Pioneers have been dominating the league, taking home regular season trophies, tournament trophies. They're the 3 seed this year. They do obviously have home field, but it's really up in the air. You're talking about Oral Roberts had a terrific season when you look at their overall schedule. The other 3 teams under 500 overall, but you got to look at the schedules and who they matched up with and who they played and where those games were at to kind of get a better feel of how those seasons went and the strength of the team. But this is pretty wide open when you look at these 4 teams.
And I know I mentioned this about 10 minutes ago, but it's pretty rare to see in a game like this. Remember, we're talking about college kids here, folks, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. So there's going to be butterflies before a game like this one, and that usually matriculates in a college, in a semifinal game like this. That'll usually matriculate in some stale play in the middle of the field, some missed passes. Both teams have been pretty crisp off the start, and both teams kind of taking it to one another. Again, there's been a lot of offense, and that is not usually what you'll see in a game like this. Both teams, I think both the coaches get credit here too. They both look ready to play, and it's been fun to watch here in the opening 20-25 minutes.
Western Illinois is the home team as the number 1 seed. Omaha, the number 4 seed.
Ooh.
Neil Ayat's here making some plays and eventually losing it there. Another player that Coach Warming highlighted, Ayat, said he's been terrific for us. I love the way he's played. He's improved throughout the season, and he's a dangerous player.
He went a little bit, we're going to have a substitution here in just a second, but I thought he went a little long there. He had the nice cut inside, beats around 2 players to get a little bit of space for himself, and then just held on to the ball a little bit too long, tried to do a bit too much with it. Otherwise, I thought he had a couple players open. He had Hermanson and Gutierrez making runs down the middle, but Yats choosing to hold on to the ball. Hey, when you make 2 moves like that, when you're able to beat 2 players, you kind of get the right to the ball a little bit, but would have preferred to have seen him dish the ball off there, but hey, still 70-plus minutes to go.
One too many individual moves there, but
yeah.
When the first two work, it's hard to.
Yeah, exactly. What do you say? You know, do you tell Messi after he beats out 2 players to, hey, pass the ball? You know.
Gordon here comes up within the midfield. Omaha, and that's going to be a handball there. Tough break against Ayat.
That one definitely not of his doing. That's just incidental. Just bad luck there for the sophomore from Taradell, Spain, Neil Ayats. And by the way, if you're kind of new, maybe just tuning in for the first time here, and just getting your feet wet in college soccer, this is something we've seen more of in recent years. A lot of international flavor, and again, the number of international players continues to increase in college soccer, particularly on the men's side. And fun to see. You got players from Australia, from Spain, from Sweden on these 2 teams here this afternoon. We'll highlight some of those as the game wears on.
France represented well.
Japan.
Yeah, it's an international game, and even at the collegiate level here in the States. And it's one of the awesome things about college soccer, right? I mean, the experience for the student athletes, both for the U.S.-born players here playing with international players, and the experience, the cultures all blending together, teammates, and perhaps, brothers for life, friends for life. When you talk about being on the same team here in college and being roommates and traveling, doing all the things that student athletes experience. It's a terrific experience overall to have that type of diversity on a club.
And by the way, that was a shout for a penalty there from Ryan Du Bois, who's got 8 goals to lead Western Illinois so far this season. Makes a sprinting run down. Western Illinois not liking the fact that a call wasn't given there, but let's see if they can make this. Ooh, a little bit of a mishap there from Omaha's as Miguel Gomez, not knowing there was nobody behind him, so he steers it out, makes a safe play, but it goes out for a corner kick for Western Illinois. But just saying that Western Illinois had a shout for penalty. I didn't see it initially, but I didn't have the greatest angle on it, to be honest about it. But Western Illinois comes back, gets a corner kick, another set piece opportunity for them.
Kirkdorf putting it in the middle of the box there. Punched out of there, not cleared. Long shot from the outside, a high rising shot there. No trouble for Jeremy Pollard.
And that was Du Bois who takes the shot there. And again, Ryan Du Bois, 8 goals so far this season to lead Western Illinois. We do have a substitution in here. Looks like that is Mitch Hammer, the junior who comes in for his first minutes of the game.
Hammer from Cave Creek, Arizona. And one of the players, we don't know for sure, but perhaps falling a little ill this week, and he's been an important player, significant player for Omaha throughout the season. And that is going to draw the whistle there. Cole Nelson, the guilty party for the Mavericks. Western restarting quickly.
Western's so aggressive on the ball. You've seen it lead to a few turnovers early on here.
Cosio with the ball all the way in and just punched wide. What a pass that time.
That's a beautiful ball. Beautiful ball here from Cosio. Look at this. This has got some curl on it right into the middle of the danger zone. 2 players on that one. I think that's good defending there from Omaha. Good man marking. Makes it difficult. I think it was Rinderknecht and Mateo who were in on that one, and the 2 center backs for Omaha, I think, blocked the view for the 2 attackers there from Western Illinois, and that allowed the ball to kind of harmlessly move its way on through. But that's a beautiful ball in there from Cosio. Again, right in the heart of that danger area with a little curl to try and get those Western Illinois attackers on the ball. Very, very close there again from the Fighting Leathernecks.
Luke DeBall on the other end of that one. Unable to convert, the junior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. No score here. Under 17 minutes remaining before halftime. Fighting Leathernecks and the Mavericks. The 1-4 semifinal matchup here in this tournament. And the right to move on and play on Saturday. Day off tomorrow for the advancing teams. Day off tomorrow for the team that doesn't win also, but they have the rest of the season off, unfortunately.
Slightly different.
A heel flick here, a chance, it's in! A goal for the Mavericks! How about that?
What a beautiful back heel that was there from the new substitute, Junior Natua, who does the back heel right to Mitch Hammer. Hammer blasts it home. And for Omaha, how about that for an opener? That is a wonderful back heel there to set that one up. And for Mitch Hammer, the junior who just subbed on, 2 players who just subbed on a second ago, combining for that one. And a wonderful play there from the Mavericks. That's their first goal in over 4 games, going back to October the 12th. And what a time for that goal there for the visiting Mavs.
Unbelievable sequence there. And those fresh legs coming through. Junior Natoa, also a Creighton Prep local product from Omaha. The sophomore picks up the assist, and Mitch Hammer able to make that one happen. How about it? First goal of the season for Mitch Hammer.
I got to say, and Hammer deserves the credit. He blasts it home, puts it in the right spot. I mean, just the presence of mind for Natua here. Again, this is a semifinal game. Guy just subs on and does this beautiful back heel right into the path of Mitch Hammer. I mean, that is just wonderful stuff. No look back heel pass right into the path of Mitch Hammer. I feel like you see that tried even at the professional level, and often it's a little bit of showboating, and in that case, there's obviously a more than practical purpose. Hammer does the rest. His first goal of the season, sends it home, and again, Omaha had not scored in 4 games. We also had mentioned the fact that they started pretty brightly here on the offensive end, and for Western Illinois, the #1 seed, well, they got their work to do. They can score. They certainly have, but for Omaha, a dream start for the Mavericks here in the semifinal.
Hammer in the 29th minute here finds the back of the net, and you're talking about Tim Trilk here is first team All-Summit League goalkeeper as Gutierrez back on the attack, pass in the middle. Oh my, just too high. What an opportunity. Natoa on the doorstep with just all alone with just Trilk there and a wide open frame, and he puts it over the top. My goodness.
And Trilk correctly coming out there from goal. That's tough for it. The senior there. And Western Illinois, I have to call them out all that much here. They're giving up over 2 goals a game. You see the reason why. There's too many holes back there from Western Illinois. You can't just get beat on the counter that quickly, that easily for Natua to be wide open there in the middle of the field. That should have been 2-0 Omaha. Again, from the Western Illinois side of things, things got to get cleaned up a little bit defensively here. Otherwise, they may be going home early.
Can't ask for a better opportunity than that.
And Gutierrez, yeah, I mean, Gutierrez is he's all over the ball. If you're an Omaha fan, you've got to love that. Again, we're seeing lots of Diego Gutierrez here in the first half hour plus of this first half. That's clearly been the game plan from Bob Warming. As you mentioned, a short-handed Omaha side, and they've come out playing some inspired soccer here in the first half hour, and it's led to a tangible result on the scoreboard.
And quite honestly, when you look at Omaha, you think of the program, you look at a 2-time National Coach of the Year, a 6-time National Coach of the Year finalist in Coach Warming. A 4 seed is really somewhat unexpected. And you look at their record, just 3 wins on the season, 3-8-4 overall, 2-2-1 in Summit League play. And when I asked him, tell me about the first question, I said, Coach, tell me about the season. How has it gone? He said, you know, honestly, as a competitor, we've underperformed. I've made some mistakes coaching. We haven't got the job done as student athletes, but we have the opportunity to meet some of our goals, to get to where we want to be, get to the NCAA tournament. And it's a team that you could see out here today. They've got a ton of talent. We've known that for years. A very strong program. It's Gutierrez with another chance off the post. It's loose in front. Gutierrez, and Chris, you've been all over this. He has been sensational so far, and they've been trying to get him the ball from a game plan standpoint.
And it's worked. I mean, Gutierrez was the leading scorer a year ago. We mentioned this, and yes, we know he's been injury hobbled. He got hurt in the Creighton game. He's only got a goal and 2 assists. That's obviously an anomaly in terms of that stat, but credit to Coach Bob Warming and company. And by the way, player deserves big credit there. That's a wonderful ball up from Pep Mateu there to get that to Gutierrez. And that's not the first time we see Mateu, the center back, number 28, the ponytail there in the back line there for Omaha. We've seen some nice delivery out of the back from Omaha from between him and Rinderknecht, and they've been getting the ball up to Gutierrez consistently, and that game plan has worked. A lot of these over-the-top balls or balls trying to find Gutierrez in space. Again, that game plan from Bob Warming Company, it has worked to perfection here in the first half hour.
A couple of subs coming in for Western Illinois. Jonah Dancer, sophomore, midfielder from Iowa City, Iowa. And number 4, Daisuke Atsuka comes off. Luke DeBall also coming off.
Gutierrez again on the ball. Great pass there.
Time!
19 Xavier Brown, sophomore from Belleville, Illinois, coming out of that last break as well. Fresh legs out there for the Fighting Leathernecks. 11 minutes to go before halftime. 1-0, 29th minute. Mitch Hammer finds the back of the net, blasting it past Trilk there from close range, able to power it through.
Surprised neither of us have said Mitch hammers at home yet and used that pun yet.
Well, I thought about that. It just seemed too easy, Chris. Too obvious.
Low-hanging fruit for sure, no doubt.
I figured we'd get there.
Yeah. It had to happen at some point. I'm sure, and Mitch Hammer and your family listening, our sincerest apologies. That is, I'm sure
they've never heard that
easiest
before.
pun. Yeah,
They've
gosh, my goodness. Imagine middle school soccer, what that was like. But it was just he hammered it home. It was just a one-time blast after that wonderful feed there from Matua.
And Pep Mateu, and he's an interesting case. All newcomer team because he's new here to Omaha. He's a grad transfer coming over from Spain. As we're going to hold this story up for a second because Gutierrez has been magnificent with the ball thus far in this one. And you can see the quick. Still a lot left in the tank there. Able to win it back. Showing off the skill, and finally a little too much there as he turns it over.
Yeah, but he can do that. He's been the best player on the field. I mean, I don't think either coach would have any issue with me saying that Gutierrez has been unquestionably the best player on the field here in the first half hour of this game. Another substitution here for Western Illinois as they try and find the right formula. They had a couple of grade A opportunities. The guy subbing off right now, Meringue, the sophomore from Ontario, Canada, had the best opportunity for Western Illinois. A glancing header that went just wide, very, very close for the opener for Western Illinois. That was at the beginning of the half. But again, Western Illinois, from about the 15th minute on, Brad, I think it's been all Omaha for the last, let's say, 15, 20 minutes.
Gomole Esaaku, number 10, came on there for Fighting Leathernecks, and he's from Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
As he's quickly involved in the offense here with that touch. And it's interesting, he went up to the national team for Papua New Guinea. He missed about 3 weeks of the season this year. And, you know, Coach Johnson saying it was probably more challenging for their team and for him academically to stay on top of all the schoolwork and to leave. But they certainly missed him. Now he's back, a vital player for this team, and certainly an incredible experience to be able to travel, play internationally, and get called up, you know, play for your country. So that's a big deal, but it was unusual circumstances in the middle of the season. And Coach saying he missed about 3 weeks, but they're happy to have him back, and they love what they've seen from him.
So you're in college, playing D1 soccer, and playing for your national team. Other than that, everything's pretty normal.
Yeah, student athlete, going to class, trying to get everything taken care of, yeah.
Playing for the Papua New Guinea national team, by the way, if you know the island of Borneo, which is shared with Indonesia, that is where Papua New Guinea is, out there in the southeast part of Asia. I don't know, that's interesting. Played high school soccer in Australia, so ends up in Macomb, Illinois, out of all places, but again, speaks to the diversity and the growing international flavor of collegiate soccer. Again, particularly at the men's level, we've seen that number of international players and the diversity of where those players are coming from. Again, we're talking about a player from Papua New Guinea here, playing for Western Illinois, and that is just awesome to see. Again, part of the diversity of soccer.
We've got a stoppage of play, and we got guys down for both teams. Rinderknecht, number 4, is still down. Brown is back up. That's a good sign for Western Illinois. Both teams back up on their feet, but doubled over right now.
And it's Rinderknecht down for Omaha. Gets on up. He won the ball first, so I think this is going to be a set piece in favor of the Mavs, I would guess here. Haven't seen an indication from either side, or maybe it's just a fair play situation, but I think Western Illinois is just going to boot the ball down to Omaha. But appears that both players are okay. Rinderknecht kind of jogging, walking it off right now.
Still moving very slowly there in that center back position. Rinderknecht, first team All Summit League performer, the senior, great size, 6'3", 185 pounds from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Very experienced player for Omaha, and they need him back there. They've got the lead. They want to keep things tight defensively.
4-year starter for the Mavs.
Another all-league performer, not just this year, but in seasons past as well.
Ooh.
And the referee going to bring a couple of guys together and talk things over. Let's see what happens here.
This is some chirping.
Torito 3 there. And he's going to get a yellow card. Will it be 2 yellow cards issued here?
Yeah, one. And again, we'll get you some of the information on that here. So that's going to be for chirping from the sideline there from Western Illinois. So that's just to be transparent about our vantage point here. We can't really see or hear as much as what's going on from the benches directly, as they're on the opposite side of the field from where we are. But that's obviously going to be some barking either from head coach Dr. Eric Johnson himself or members of his staff. When you see a yellow card given to a team like that, that means that collectively there's too much barking, too much yelling, and the referee here trying to say, hey, settle it on down. One thing to be cautious about, though, this is an early yellow card here for West Illinois, so they got to be careful for the remainder of the game.
It is going to be one on each team.
Wow.
As they brought, Miguel Gomez is going to pick it up for Omaha, and then Cameron Torito is going to pick up the yellow card.
Goodness.
As it's listed here in our stat monitor. So that referee bring both guys together, and it looked like, you could tell there was some talking going on. There was some chirping, and yellow cards issued here. The clock back running again as Trilk blasts this one across midfield. Brown able to win that ball. Near side here, Ragland.
Gutierrez subs off for Omaha, so maybe Omaha going to settle down a bit more for more of a defensive look here as we end the half.
Well done there by Gordon, able to step in front, take it away.
Rebase subs on there for Omaha, their leading scorer, 3 goals this season. The Air Force transfer. If you're a fan of the University of Denver Pioneers, you might remember a year ago there was some controversy involving Aaron Uribe right here on the University of Denver soccer stadium field, as Uribe went down with a penalty kick, and Denver felt that he was kind of forced in a little bit, but a little bit of Uribe's been here before. The transfer from the Air Force Academy, now playing for the Omaha Mavericks. Again, doing well in his first season in Southeast Nebraska with 3 goals to lead the Mavs, including one from a penalty kick spot.
Uribe, the junior, 6'1", 180 pounds from San Diego, California. Good size, very strong on the ball. Mateu here showing off his skill as he gets clipped. He goes down, no whistle there. He's going to have to hustle back defensively because here comes Kerdorf. He runs over a player and eventually, and now we've got
straight red.
A red card coming out, and it got physical.
Oh boy. And that was immediate there from the referee. So let's take a look at what happens. It happens after the play. So let's take a look at what happens there. So Gomez, that's a clean challenge, wins the ball first, incidental contact. What happens here? That's what determines what happens. And Kerdorf, I'm guessing he steps on that there. For the referee to immediately whip out the red card like that, there had to have been a stopping situation. Gomez is being attended to right now. Kerdorf obviously doesn't like the call, but I've never seen a red card where it hasn't been argued. Kerdorf is sent off to the sidelines. I've got to trust here that there was some sort of stop. If there's a way we can see what happened right after the incidental contact there. Again, I didn't see anything dirty from either player between Gomez and Kerdorf as the challenge was happening. The initial challenge was clean from both players. That was a clean tackle. There was no foul there. Gomez
is back up on his feet. Yeah. That's the good news. It does not appear to be a significant, or let's hope it's not a significant injury. He's going to go off on the side here and get some water there as they're sorting things out. But you're talking about the defensive player of the year here in the Summit League that's now out of this game.
Yeah, and for that to happen in straight red style, and again, I'm going to go out, I'm assuming here that there was a stomping or something that happened there right after. That is poor decision-making there from Paul Kerdorf. And you understand, there's emotions at play. We're talking about a semifinal. The referee is aware of that, but you've got to keep it in check. in a situation like that. And if you're new to soccer, remember, if you get a red card, that means you are down a player for the remainder of that contest. You're not allowed to sub in that player. That means that player is ejected, and again, you cannot substitute for that. So Western Illinois will play with 10 players, while Omaha will have 11 for the remainder of the game, unless, of course, there's another red card issued. So that's a game changer right there. And again, referees are aware here that they're usually in a game like this more willing to let more things slide. So if there's a straight red like that, ooh, goodness.
Card coming out here, Brown. Xavier Brown's going to get the yellow card. Hammer went down there, the goal scorer here for Omaha.
Yeah, and again, you just gotta wind it down. This is a younger Western Illinois side. That's a late challenge there. No ball. That's just a late. That's needless. That's needless, and that's again from Western Illinois. You just got to settle it on down a little bit. You understand emotions are in play. Western Illinois, not in the tournament a year ago. A lot of these players playing in the postseason for the first time. You gotta harness that energy and make it a bit more positive.
With all that said, that's a tough card. I mean, in the stakes that we're at here with semifinals.
I'll be honest, I didn't have a huge issue with the card. It was late, and there was no attempt for the ball at all there. And the referee's position is essentially to ensure the well-being and safety of the players. Sure. And if you're going in late, studs up like that, yes, probably maybe leaning on the harsher side, but I don't have a huge issue with that. The point, again, of the yellow card, it's a tool at the referee's disposal to try and settle things on down. And Western Illinois, you would have thought that the red card would have been the immediate sign of, hey, tone it down a little bit. And then a late challenge like that, not going after the ball, goes right into the legs of the player for Omaha. Again, if you're the referee, your job here is to protect the safety of these student athletes. And no huge issue with that yellow card there.
And the other factor to that card coming out is that you just had a red card, and there were players coming together, student athletes talking, chirping, some chest-to-chest activity there. You want to squelch all of that. You want to, okay, let's get back in control here. You don't want things to get out of hand. So when you get some immediate contact right after an incident like that, from a referee standpoint, you're maybe a little bit more saying, okay, I gotta stop any of this. This cannot continue, this type of play. Yeah, and I mean, I think what you saw there, I was actually going to say this right after we saw the yellow cards to the two team benches and the cards given out to Torito and to Gomez, was I think the referee intentionally let things slide for the first 35, 40 minutes. There were no yellow cards given out in the first 35, 40 minutes. The idea being, again, we understand this is a semifinal game. There's going to be extra emotions. There may be some private conversations, but no yellow cards. And then the referee said, all right, knock it off. And then the red card comes, and then another yellow card. I understand the referee's decision-making.
Step!
95 seconds remaining here before halftime.
Caleb,
first half of the first semifinal here of the Summit League Championship. Omaha in the 29th minute. Mitch Hammer able to come through, and now we've got another card coming out, this time against Omaha. Yellow card.
And everybody's in the book now. Let's see this one here.
Matoa, I believe, is going to get the yellow here.
That one's a little, I don't know if that's a bit of a make-up call there with all the yellow cards going against Western Illinois. That one seemed, again, Matoa's clearly playing the ball. It gets a little late, leaves the boot out a little long, but I'm not sure about that yellow card. But again, there's not every decision is necessarily going to be perfect in that situation. Clearly the referee is in the mode of let's settle things on down a little bit. I think both teams at this point, that halftime whistle, we're only, at this point, 79 seconds away from it, can't come fast enough. And for Dr. Eric Johnson and Western Illinois in particular, I think that'll be a nice time to reassess, make some tactical adjustments, and most importantly at this point, some emotional adjustments to recover for the second half here.
And talking with Dr. Johnson and the head coach for Western Illinois, degree in sports management, his doctorate there. That's where the doctor part comes in. And talking with him, I said, who are your team captains? I don't see it here listed. And he said, well, that was that's interesting. For the first time, you know, we've gone without captains, and there's nobody out there wearing the band. And he said it's up to everybody to lead. Everybody has had their chance, and he said it's really created an unbelievable culture and really helped down the stretch. It was probably tough early on with that 0-11 start, but since then they've really come together as a team. He said the young players, the freshmen aren't, as we've got offside call here, the young players aren't afraid to say something. It's, you know, not feeling like it's not their place, it's not their chance, and some of the natural leaders of the team have emerged, and it's kind of an interesting concept that has worked for the Fighting Leathernecks here late in the season especially.
Well, obviously now they're going to need some leadership from not only some of the fellow players, but from Dr. Eric Johnson himself here, as they're down a player, down a goal. But still, this is a high-scoring Western Illinois side, and if there's any team capable of recovering from that, it's the number 1 seed, the Fighting Leathernecks.
And they're just one play away, as it's 1-0 here at halftime. And Mitch Hammer, the goal scorer, the junior from Cave Creek, Arizona, put in the goal. Junior Natoa, the sophomore, with the assist. And that is how we've got to 1-0 here at halftime. We'll step aside during halftime. After 45 minutes, 1-0 Omaha over Western Illinois here in the semifinal match of the Summit League Championship.
19 championship sports. Be sure to check out the league's official website, thesummitleague.org, for all the latest news.
Turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. Turn up the radio. How you gonna get me? Let's go.
This is a Summit League merchandise stand located at the top of the stand for the race championship year. Air Force Special Warfare are individuals who are dedicated to defending this nation. Today, U.S. Air Force would like to congratulate all of the athletes for their dedication and hard work throughout the year and during the championship. Please visit the Air Force Special Warfare team at the south end of the field. Tuesday months to be the one men's soccer championship selection show on Monday, November 18th. Visit NCAA.com/college cup to download the practice game and broadcast information. That's NCAA.com/college cup.
up the radio! Oh, you're gonna get me! Ah! Let's go!
Halftime here at the University of Denver Soccer Stadium. Omaha Mavericks up 1-0 here in the first semifinal matchup of the Summit League Men's Soccer Championship. Mitch Hammer with the goal in the 29th minute is the lone tally on the board thus far. There was a big play in the 41st minute that led to a red card. Paul Kurdorf picking up the red card, and here's another look at it to make sure we can see exactly what happened. So that tackle's clean. It's going to be afterwards. Some of the contact there. It's hard to tell. It looked like he was getting up, and then there's some more contact. Was he being pulled there by Gomez, the Maverick on the ground? But I wanted to give another look at that. Such a crucial play. We're talking about the Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit League this season. First team all-league performer. There's Gomez going down. It's a clean tackle here. And then camera that time following the ball there. And those are the two angles that we have of that play as we get set for things to restart here in the second half.
I'll be honest, I didn't see a ton there at the end. When Kurdorf is getting up, again, it's hard to tell. He must have stepped or done something because the referee is right there in perfect position along with the line judge, and they both
indicated
it was a red card. So I'm guessing difficult from that angle to tell, but that there may have been something there that did lead to the red card being brandished. And it was a straight red, which means there was no yellow cards. If you get two yellow cards, it's a red card. In that case, it was a straight red, which is usually some sort of you did something really, really bad, really intentional.
Egregious,
or last man tackle sort of thing. Again, in that case, it had to have been Kurdorf intentionally stepping on or stomping on Gomez there, and that was the referee's decision. So Omaha will be playing a man up for the remainder of the contest, now going from right to left on your screen.
Number of yellow cards came out, and one for each team before that were issued. Gomez, one of the players for Omaha, picking up the yellow card at the 39th minute. So that was just 2 minutes before. Cameron Torito for Western Illinois also picking up a yellow card, and Xavier Brown picking up a yellow card as well. Junior Natoa, who had the assist on the Mitch Hammer goal, picked up a yellow card as well late in the half. And Omaha back on the attack here. Ball sent across the middle. Trilk able to come up with it, but he bobbled it momentarily. Gave me a moment of pause there on what could be a juicy rebound.
Yeah, Trilk, though, holding on to it. The senior out of Rockford, Illinois, making it comfortable enough safe, as you mentioned there, Brad. Maybe a moment there nervousness if you're a Fighting Leathernecks fan, but from the Omaha side of things, another offensive opportunity. And again, something we noted in the first half a lot of was Diego Gutierrez seeing tons of the ball, and looks like the second half starting the same way.
Trilka has been so crucial to them defensively. As you mentioned, they've had some lapses throughout the season, but he has been the shot stopper. And Coach Johnson's saying just a terrific athlete back there, big-time athlete, is very explosive, has always had the ability to make those great saves and those stops. And sure, he wants one back. I mean, it was a tough play early in the first half, not early, in the middle of the first half, that he couldn't make the stop. But he's been outstanding, came in with 83 saves on the season, and a big-time weapon back there when you talk about not being perhaps as organized as you'd like to be sometimes defensively, and he's been able to make up for it.
Trollick with number 2 in the Summit League with those 83 saves coming in. So certainly a player who's seen his fair share of shots, and I thought he exemplified some pretty good senior leadership there as well. Ooh, watch this.
Gutierrez able to control it in the box. Gets it to a teammate, just couldn't quite get there. Hermanson, I thought, was going to get the touch on it, but and Gutierrez all the way across the other side of the field here for the throw-in.
Goodness, this is vintage Diego Gutierrez here this afternoon.
Go on!
Sending that one over the frame.
And as I say that, blasted right over the crossbar. But Gutierrez is such a dangerous character. That was a beautiful ball he had out there to Hermanson that, a second ago. That was the best opportunity in the half for Omaha. And interesting to me here, Brad, is it appears that Coach Bob Warming and the Omaha side, and I know they're up a man, so that certainly helps a little bit, but they are pretty clearly looking for goal number 2. They know this is a Western Illinois side that can score. They've been lighting up the scoreboard like crazy here, particularly in conference play. This is a team that's scoring over a goal and a half a game, so you would imagine, and they're coming in hot too, so you would think that Western Illinois has got a goal in them. I think Coach Bob Warming accounting for that and trying to get that second one early on here in the second half.
And taking advantage, seizing the momentum here the second half. You got the goal of the 29th minute. The yellow card, or red card, comes out. So you're up a man. So come out of halftime and take advantage. You're in a good position right now.
Agreed.
Take control of this one. Get some momentum. Get some chances. Keep building up. You should have the advantage up a man, and see what you can do. Like you're saying, be aggressive. And Coach Warming, not when you talk to him, he's not the guy that's going to sit on the ball here and just hope that they make it to the end and hang on.
Totally. And, ooh, watch this again.
Here's the speed into Hermanson. Can he turn? Now trying to find a teammate. And that was Marcos Batista, first team All-Summit League Spaniard there.
And this is too, by the way, this is going to go out for a corner kick. This is too unselfish there from Hermanson. Hermanson, you got to turn around and just blast that ball in. That's a wonderful ball there from Diego Gutierrez again. And if you're either Denver or Oral Roberts or here today, Western Illinois, that's got to scare you the way that Gutierrez is playing so far here today. He's been head and shoulders best player on the field.
Chip in Hermanson, save made by Trilk there. The quick reaction, able to punch it out. It's going to be another corner here as Gomez heads back to that far corner to take the kick. But the chance is coming early and often here in the second half for Omaha.
And again, Western Illinois defensively, this is a team that on the defensive side of things has struggled and going to need to get a few more saves, you would think.
This one across and save made by Trilk again. Gutierrez in front, open net. And this Trilk able to make the save. Now it's getting physical down there. Let's take another. What a sequence here. That save right there with the right hand inside the post. Another ball right in front, and then a chance, and Trilk able to get there.
Unbelievable. I mean, Tim Trilk just keeping Western Illinois in this game. Unbelievable sequence of saves. The first one on Hermanson off the wonderful header there from the Swede, and then another one there off the corner kick. Tim Trilk single-handedly staying on his head right now and keeping Western Illinois in this contest. But defensively, again, the Fighting Leathernecks have got to figure it out a bit more. They are, again, certainly on their back foot here in half number 2.
Another chance for the Mavericks. Deep into the box, Hermanson able to get ahead on it, popping it over the crossbar. as he's back on his feet, but knows he had a chance there.
And it's that set piece and these crosses that have really troubled Western Illinois. That's got to be a bit concerning. There's a lot of open looks there in the middle of the box for for Omaha, and that's meant that the man that you're looking at there, Tim Trilk, has had to stand on his head here to keep this game manageable for Western Illinois. But again, if you're Omaha here and you get that second goal, you're up a man. It would be very difficult.
You're sitting real pretty.
Yeah, you're sitting really pretty. But still a game. Hey, just a one-goal game still.
One play away at this point. Daisuke Otsuka that time. Trying to come up with it. Could not, number 4. As Pollard's going to take the goal kick. Trilk, we've talked a lot about him. There's a reason he's first team All-Summit League goalkeeper. You saw it there. I don't need to tell you that he's good. You could see it by the action. A one-handed save there, and a corner coming from the other side of the field, and him able to get all the way to that far post, the near post as you're watching it, but for him, the opposite side of that corner.
He's been excellent. Excellent play here from Tim Trilken, coming up large right when his teams need him most.
And that's going to be a handball in the box. Dancer was making a run. Asoku was where the pass came from. Let's take another look. Dancer's 12. Asoku here. Is it in the box? It is. It's inside the line there. Gomez.
That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate for Gomez and for Omaha there. If your arm is extended from the body, that's when the call will be made. And Gomez's arm is extended from his body. Obviously, incidentally, he wasn't trying. You don't think he was trying to do that. That's just unfortunate luck. But for Western Illinois, we just talked about it. All you needed was one play and one thing to happen, and this may be the opportunity here for the Fighting Leathernecks.
Daisuke Otsuka, number 4, the junior from Japan, will take the kick. He lines it up. Pollard bouncing back there on the end line. The shot, it's in, we're tied. Otsuka puts in the penalty kick. And just like that, one play, we talked about it, Omaha had the advantage here in the second half, certainly. Pollard guessing to his right. And Otsuka going the other way. And he buries it. We are tied at 1.
And a very clean penalty there from Daisuke Otsuka, who puts it right in the corner for the junior, his 5th goal of the season, and the 4th consecutive Summit League game that he has scored in. So coming up large in conference play, obviously when it matters most. And what an important time, what an important goal for that goal to come. And there you go, Daisuke Otsuka with the goal, and we are level despite the fact that this half has been absolutely all Omaha, and on the really against the run of play, Western Illinois wins the penalty kick and the goal. Credit to Western Illinois for continuing to fight. Again, down a man, it's hard to get that many opportunities, but little stroke of luck. There's a little question about that. I don't think either coach would say that was Gomez intentionally trying to do that. That's just one of those things that happens sometimes in soccer where your arm is extended from your body, you put the cross in, and it happens to hit your arm while it's extended from your body, so it's a penalty kick.
Gutierrez again able to control it, and he gets tripped up there. Ball taken away by Western Illinois. Well done there defensively.
So for Omaha, who came into that penalty kick just dominating the half and frankly the game overall, now this is a real test for the Mavericks, who maybe felt like they had this game at least in hand, up a man, up a goal. Now it's crunch time for the Mavericks. Now they got to figure out how to get that goal, and Tim Trilk has stood on his head, as we mentioned there, for Western Illinois so far this half, but now more emotionally for the Mavericks, you got to recoup and continue to apply the pressure. For Western Illinois, now you're sitting a bit more pretty. Now you can kind of play to your strength, which is that counterattack style, and sit back a little bit more, allow Omaha to get the possession and take advantage of your opportunities like you saw just a second ago.
Yeah, it really shifts the dynamic of this one as Omaha continues to dominate possession hammer here along the far side. Pass got deflected in. Not cleared out of there. Chipped on, but nobody there for the Mavericks is Tim Trilk. And the more you mentioned talking about standing on his head, the more he does that, the more it frustrates the Mavericks. And you never know how that goes. When you start to get frustrated, you can't get one past the keeper. Obviously, Hammer able to do that in the 29th minute in the first half, and that's the tally for Omaha. But here in the second half, they've had some grade A chances and haven't been able to convert. And just like that, Western Illinois with a play there, and it works out for their favor. They get a penalty kick, they put it in.
And there are fewer, I don't think there's any other sport where sometimes the scoreline can be so misleading. And it's not to say that's a wildly misleading scoreline here, but Omaha, again, I think both teams would concede the fact that Omaha has clearly been head and shoulders the better side here. But it's also, again, a big credit to Western Illinois, who this is not the first time this season they found themselves with their backs against the wall. They started the season 0-11. They know what it means to fight and how to come up with the goals when you need it, and fighting leather in the next doing again there just a second ago.
Gutierrez again on the attack there. 23, Aaron Uribe subbed in that last whistle.
Ooh. And Gutierrez, one thing I've seen tactically a little bit more this half is you're seeing a double team on him, which I think I was starting to wonder if leading Diego Gutierrez by himself was the right idea there from Western Illinois. And you're starting to see him getting doubled up now, and I like to see that from the Western Illinois side of things. Is there have appeared to have been some tactical adjustments to try and compensate for the fact that Gutierrez has been the best player on this field so far, and certainly the best attacking player and the best attacking threat for the Mavericks so far this afternoon. He's been at the heart of everything.
Gomez sends that ball in with the left foot. It's cleared out of there.
Get out, get out. Cam right shoulder.
Leathernecks now, trying to get something going. That one's going to roll all the way across. Do have a sub coming in for Western Illinois. Arian Marang, number 11, is coming on. Torito, number 3, subs off.
I hate for Torito, I think, remember, he's on the yellow card. He got a true freshman in a postseason game. I like that move there from Dr. Eric Johnson, Western Illinois, maybe. I'm sure that's partially tactically in place there, but I'm sure it's not lost on Dr. Johnson and the Western Illinois staff that you got a freshman on a yellow card. You're already down a man. You don't want to risk. You want to have players out there, true freshmen, postseason games on yellow cards, and risk going down 2 men here. I think that's part of what may be in play as well.
Dancer deflecting that one, and looks like it's going to work out to be a corner. Uribe that time.
And watch here, Omaha has looked exceptionally dangerous on these set pieces. Again, Western Illinois' defending has been a little lackluster here on these set piece opportunities. So Western Illinois has got to watch out, but for Omaha, another potentially a golden opportunity for them to go back up.
Gutierrez will take the kick for the Mavs. Right foot, bends it in near post. Popped up but not out. Finally now cleared back to midfield.
Ooh.
Western able to win it here. Marang with those fresh legs coming in there. Had a little bit of a burst, but Omaha able to get back defensively.
Wonderful work there again from Ed Gordon, who comes back and makes the tackle, the holding mid. Just enough of a touch on the ball there to stymie that Western Illinois counter.
Christian Janah, that time the senior from Australia, punches that one out of there. Will be a throw in here.
No, stop. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Quickly into Gomez here on the near side. Looking for Gordon. They did not connect. Rinderneck able to come up and make the play, and now we've got a foul against Omaha.
And that Western Illinois staff is yelling for a yellow there again. And the Western Illinois staff's got to be careful. They're on a yellow. You got a red card. That means you can't not only coach for the remainder of the game, but that means you also, I believe, you'd also be out for the final if you were to make it that far. So again, seeing, as you might expect in a postseason game, a lot of hot tempers. But again, you got to control them when you're on a yellow card, and both teams' benches are on yellows. After in the first half, the referee Cesar Ibarra giving both benches the yellow card, the ultimate tangible warning of, hey, cool it.
First semifinal match here in the Men's Soccer Summit League Championship for 2019. The Denver Pioneers, the host university, they are the 3 seed. They will be taking on Oral Roberts University, the number 2 seed. That match will be coming up at 4 p.m. Mountain Time following this one. And the winners playing at 2 p.m. on Saturday in the championship final, and a berth at the NCAA tournament will be at stake. And certainly that's the hopes and the dreams of all these players, all these coaches when you come into the season. We want to be playing in the NCAA tournament where anything can happen. There's a championship on the line, a national championship, and a lot of goals still to be sorted out here. When you talk to these teams and these coaches, they say, you know, did we, unless you're Western Illinois, Oral Roberts also 4-1, but they ended up as the number 2 seed on a tiebreaker. So Western Illinois will host this tournament next year in 2020, and the Pioneers, having won it last year, the reason they are hosting the host university here. And so you'll see how it shakes out. Western Illinois, they won the regular season. They're the only one to meet that initial goal, as this one's chipped on and over the head of a defender. Batista here with a chance. He goes along the end line, plays it in front, and Trill in great position there to come up with it.
Goodness, that's wonderful goalkeeping again there from Tim Trill. Not only that was a hard blast in the middle of the box. That's a very difficult ball to hold on to. Again, low ball right at the kind of shins, low knees. That's a very difficult ball when it was hit that hard to hang on to, but also wonderful positioning there from Tim Trill, the senior goalkeeper from Rockford in Northern Illinois.
Otska that time whistled for the foul.
Coming off shoulder.
Both teams trading turnovers here as Gomez and the Mavs. Now Gordon at midfield. Ayat's playing a ball up ahead, never made it there. It was intended for Uribe.
And this is typically where Western Illinois is at its best. Again, it's going to be more difficult down a man, but from Western Illinois, the offense has been kind of predicated on that counterattack style where I think they're pretty okay. And we saw in the first half, too, even when we were 11 versus 11, Western Illinois is pretty okay giving Omaha the lion's share of the ball, 55, 45, 60, 40 kind of possession in favor of the Mavs. So if you're Omaha, you got to just be a little careful, even if you're getting that possession that that's playing to Western Illinois' style, is that counterattack type of play.
And talking to Coach Warming, he said, you know, listen, we won back on October 5th, but this Fighting Leathernecks team is a different team now. This is a different team than they were before. They were on a 10-match losing streak at the time. Omaha won that one 3-1 in their first matchup, and he said, you know, Coach Johnson is doing things differently tactically, strategically. They're more of a counterattack team that you have mentioned throughout. So he said you have to be careful playing balls through the middle in that midfield. They will take it away, and they feast on those turnovers and really capitalize on them. And we'll see how that plays out, because normally it's two teams, and you know, Coach Warming saying the players are the same, but how they're playing confidence-wise and tactically is very different.
Absolutely, and there's always a feeling and a saying in soccer, you know, when the ball seems to have eyes when you're scoring lots of goals. So
here's a chance for Western Illinois. Pollard able to go up high. No real threat there.
And just kind of explain that when you're, it just seems like when you're scoring 3 or 4 goals a game that balls will bounce off the post and go in. There's always just that feeling. I don't know. Western Illinois may be in one of those phases right now, but watch this here on the counter.
Gutierrez again on the ball there, behind the defense. It is going to be a corner here. Hugo Tritz, I beg your pardon, Stevie C, one of the players we haven't seen, but we're accustomed to seeing him in his play. The sophomore from Omaha, going to Central High School, is out there.
Martin Vase, the sophomore from France, is on as well. Again, 2 players that we're used to regularly seeing. You mentioned this, Brad, at the beginning of the show when you spoke with Coach Bob Warming, that there was an outbreak of bronchitis on the Omaha side. Talk about terrible timing there for there to be bronchitis, as we do have a foul on the field, or a player down here for Western Illinois. It'd be the true freshman Caleb Ragland who is hurt, the freshman for Wichita, Kansas. Incidental contact, but being tended to by the Western Illinois training staff.
Looking at that left leg.
Certainly hope he's all right, and particularly in the first half, I thought he was very effective. Both Ragland and Kerdorf, the right back who was sent off at the very end of the first half for Western Illinois, they were dynamic. I thought they were the 2 best players on the field for Western Illinois, coming up, playing in that Maia style that, again, these fullbacks in a very attacking style, essentially playing as de facto midfielders, coming up and assisting the offense aggressively, but again, consciously but aggressively. And Ragland, a good player, and we certainly hope that he's all right.
Yeah, not putting a lot of weight on that, limping as he goes off there across the end line. He's going to work his way back to the bench, but not moving very well there from what we've seen out of him thus far. He does not look right. And obviously, he wouldn't be down if he was okay, but hopefully it's something perhaps they could work out over there on the sideline and get him back. A corner here for Omaha. Popped up and out across the end line there, and a goal kick coming up here for Tim Trilk.
And this game has settled down a little bit in the middle of the second half. We haven't seen quite as much of the back and forth offense we saw both throughout the first half as well as here into the early part of the second. That slower style of play will probably play a bit more to Western Illinois' favor, considering the fact that they're down a man and they do tend to play a bit more of that counterattack style, as we mentioned.
Oates able to win a ball there. Played up ahead. Ryan Du Bois, as someone, he just touched it there. We haven't heard much from him. 24 in white, the junior from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Perhaps he could be the key to unlock some things offensively here and get through the defense. And Dr. Johnson saying, listen, he's, he played last year. He was a reserve, played about 100 minutes. This year to lead the team with 8 goals. He's really worked hard. He's really been after it. He had a breakout season. Really proud of Du Bois and what he's been able to do this season. Really come on, and it's he's been impressive. Last year coming off the bench, but he said he's tactically very advanced, highly intelligent. What he likes the most about Ryan is that he plays within himself as good as anybody. He understands his strengths, his weaknesses, doesn't try and do anything outside of his ability. And because of that, he's really been able to capitalize on what he does do well, and 8 goals leading the way. It's been terrific for Western Illinois. They haven't had a lot of chances. We haven't called his name a lot. We'll see if he can make a play here late and punch a ticket into this championship final.
And coaches love players like that. If you're a number 9, you play like a number 9. If you're a number 10, you play like a number 10. Play to your strengths, play to your abilities. And Du Bois clearly has a lot of speed, and he's effective on the counter. I haven't seen a ton of him so far today, as you mentioned, but part of that's due to the situation with them playing down a man.
This one popped in deep, and it could result in a corner. How are they going to rule?
Ooh, corner.
It's going to end up being a corner. And something that Omaha's been able to create chances, really good opportunities. Let's see what they can do here.
Yeah, Omaha's look good on these corners. They seem to win a lot of them. They do have a lot of height. Rinderknecht, 6'4", Mateo at 6'1", Hermanson at 6'1" as well.
Gutierrez again will take it from the near corner. Pops it up deep into the box. Gordon went up high, and it was Brown. Looked like he got the touch on it. Mavericks able to force another corner, though. Ayats that time able to make it happen. He's going to go over to that far corner. He'll take the kick here.
Well done there for Ayats to win that single-handedly and earn the another corner here for Omaha.
He bends one in deep and popped out of there. Dancer went up high to get ahead on that one.
Runner's left, Kyle. Get up.
Gomez here on the near side trying to get around two fighting Leathernecks and cannot. Brown able to take it away.
Good defending there from Western Illinois. 2 players back in good positions to win that ball back. And again, if you're Western Illinois, you're somewhat okay. You've got to concede something when you're down a man, and right now it's that possession. And so far it's playing to their strength a little bit here. Again, the first 10 minutes or so of the half, despite the fact that's when Western Illinois scored their goal, it was at an unsustainable pace for Omaha. Was getting chance after chance. Trillick was standing on his head and making phenomenal save after phenomenal save. Things have settled on down now, and Omaha's getting more kind of half chances, B-type chances. Nothing amazing, at least not yet. Again, that may be playing more and more to Western Illinois' strength. Ooh, watch this, though.
Martin Vase here creating a chance. He's back on his feet. He got fouled. He's a little gimpy there. Let's hope he's okay. But
5 in the wall, whistle, sir.
The burst of energy, and a guy that normally plays a ton of minutes. He gets knocked to the grass here, but a set piece here for Omaha.
And this is in a shooting position. You would think that this would be a shot coming from either Ayats or Bautista from about 21 yards out, just behind the 18.
There's the whistle. Ayat's going to take it. He puts it on goal. Trilk able to deflect it wide and then cleared out of there. Danae able to clear it, but wow, Trilk is impressive.
Yeah, Trilk has been the best player for West Illinois so far here today. There's no question about that. What he's done to keep this game level at 1, even before it's been level. Trilk really stood on his head, as we mentioned at the beginning of the half, to keep this at a manageable score line, and now really doing the work. Even more work, I should say. Another corner coming for Omaha.
Another corner, and it's
goodness.
This is getting tough. If you're Western Illinois, how long can Trilk play like that? That was full extension there on the dives. Really incredible play to get a piece of that one and deflect it in the near direction here, near to the camera, and keep it out of trouble where nobody was around. Gutierrez across the box, and Tim Trilk all over the field right now, making plays right side, left side. All these corners are going over the top in the middle of the box. He is making plays and keeping this game alive for his squad. Du Bois, here he comes with that speed you mentioned. Near side, and that pass just off the mark there, trying to find Dubel. Batista, first team All-Summit League performer, playing it out to Vase.
Chris up right. Keep him outside. Outside.
Vase trying to cut back inside.
Step. Back post loop.
Gomez lining this one up.
Away.
Looking for a teammate, trying to go all the way to on the far side to Batista, who got a touch on it, but no threat to Trill. A couple of subs coming in for Western Illinois.
I think Batista was trying to cross that ball back into the middle. I think he just got a bit of a mistouch on it. It's hard to do on a volley like that, on a long cross. Batista, I think, was going to try and send that back into the middle, and We do have a couple substitutions coming in here for Western Illinois. And remember, you got to manage your minutes a little bit. When you're down a man, you're working a little extra hard. So I think that's why Dr. Eric Johnson tapped into that bench a bit more often here in half number 2, at altitude as well.
Cosio back on. Sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. The two coming out, Thomas Hollis and Ryan Du Bois. So Du Bois subbing out. Brown, the sophomore, into the middle. Diving header to save is made by Pollard. Still alive, a chance. It's into the back of the net. Western Illinois has the lead, 2-1. Late in this one.
Unbelievable. It's Daisuke Otsuka who gets the goal, his second of the contest. First one coming from the penalty spot, and it's unbelievable how this game has been playing out, where it's been really all Omaha. Wonderful save there from Jeremy Pollard, and then right after that, well, a looping header there from Otsuka, and it beats both Pollard and Mateu, and hard to believe considering how this game has gone. Down a man, Western Illinois, and this is just a bit of a synopsis for their whole season in terms of the fact that they started 0-11, almost all those losses coming out of conference play, but somehow finding a way to get the result on the score sheet, and well, Otsuka there coming up with the huge goal, his sixth of the season. This is now the 4th straight Summit League contest that he scored in, and unbelievable, just truly unbelievable the way we've seen this game play out, that Western Illinois up 2-1.
Arian Morang is going to be credited with the assist, number 11, and the goal by Daisuke Otsuka in the 74th minute. Makes it 2-1. 2 goals here in the second half from Western Illinois, down a player. You can never count this team out. I mean, a team that lost their first 11 matches, and somehow they are the number 1 seed, and now they have the lead in the late stages here of the second half in this semifinal match, a chance to go to the championship.
And yeah, considering everything, get the red card to Kurdorf late in the first half, get 2 goals with Kurdorf out, down a man, as you mentioned, just unbelievable. Incredible resiliency, but this game far from over.
Yeah, and Omaha's had their chances, so it wouldn't be far-fetched for them.
Oh, that was close.
To find the back of the net as well again here. Gomez.
Lefty!
Quick move there. Hammer trying, I beg your pardon. That was Ayat's trying to control that. A foul here, and let's see. Otsuka, the one down, the goal scorer. And they're calling over the trainer here to make sure Daisuke is okay, the junior, 5'8", 155 pounds.
And we're hearing, by the way, a lot of yelling from the Western Illinois bench, asking for a card or for something there to be taken. Again, didn't see anything too malicious from either side, but it is Otsuka who appears to be hurt. He's on his own 2 feet and hobbling off, so I think he's gonna be all right. He's gonna try and just walk it off here, but may have an extra black and blue mark in the morning there for Daisuke Otsuka, but he's got the brace. He's got the 2 goals for Western Illinois. He'd rather have that.
I'm sure he would. Referee waving off the trainer, so hopefully he's going to be okay, certainly well enough to stay in the contest. This one intended for Brown. He got a touch on it, but couldn't control it. Hammer had that one deflected, and a handball going to be called there. Dancer retreating quickly here. Under 15 minutes remaining in regulation. 2-1.
Get out, get out, get out.
Western Illinois, 2 goals here in the second half after being down 1-0. Impressive how much they've been able to fight and stay with it and bounce back. Here's one sent across.
Away! Out! Step!
Handball is going to be called against Omaha here, so it's going to go the other way. some perilous moments, though, the way those balls ping-ponging around out there.
Yeah.
How deep Omaha continues to get the ball in and have possession. And these, if you're Western Illinois, you're feeling good about the 2 goals, but Omaha, you're like, when is it going to happen again here in the second half? Because they've been all over it, and Trilk has just been incredible. The formula for Western Illinois on how they win as Gomez is down here. We've got a stoppage of play. Brown coming over to make sure Gomez is okay, but this is kind of the formula we've seen. A lot of chances for the opponent against Western Illinois. Trilk has just been marvelous once again in goal, making saves, and he's got 6 saves in this one, 89 saves on the season.
That's a real I mean, I know Otsuka's got the brace, he's got the 2 goals, but I mean, the player of the game is Tim Trilk. There's no question about that, at least so far, the way it's played out here over the course of the first 77 minutes plus. But if you're a Western Illinois fan, that 13 minutes, that looks like a lot of time right now. That does look like a lot of time. So if you're an Omaha fan or your coach Bob Warming, most importantly, I mean, the thing to remember here is you've still got, at least in soccer terms, you still do have maybe not quite an eternity, but you do have a fair bit of time. And considering the way that Omaha has played here this afternoon, you would think there's another goal in them. Even, yes, I know the clock's starting to tick down, but you would think there's another goal left in the tank for the Mavs. For Western Illinois, the job far from over, but they've got the hard part done, which is getting those 2 goals.
Hammer is going to sub off. He's the goal scorer.
What a game.
29th minute. It has been impressive. We came into this, we walked in and looked at each other today. Chris Bianchi, Brad Thompson here with you, and said, what a treat we have here.
Yep.
What an awesome deal this is. We're going to miss out on next year. Macomb, Illinois, Summit League Championship, going to be hosted by Western Illinois University. This one in the box. Hermanson, now Vase, still with control. He went down, able to get it to a teammate. Gomez here, into the middle. In front, and that one is in. We are tied. Marcos Batista there put it into the far side, and it was last touched by Western Illinois, but they were just trying to save it at that point. Let's look at this again.
Well, this was bound to happen. We've seen this ball happen, 40 times here this afternoon here. I'm exaggerating only slightly. We've seen this happen at least a dozen times where there's been a bouncing ball in the middle of the box, and at some point, an Omaha player was bound to get there and blast it back of the net. And for Marcos Bautista, finally, at least for him, his 2nd goal of the season, he comes up large with the huge goal. As we were saying, again, 13 minutes looked like an eternity from the Western Illinois side of things. And with 12 minutes to go here in the second half, this is deserved for Omaha. They deserve a goal here in the half. It's a 2-2 contest, and if I was a betting man, I would place my money on there being at least one more goal here in regulation.
Miguel Gomez is going to pick up the assist, and Gomez has been involved with some plays. Yep. He's got a yellow card earlier in the first half, but he's been on the ball a lot, been making plays here, coming up along this near side here, and he's going to pick up the assist there. And he's a lot of hard work for him, and then it pays off there. Natoa, 26, whistled for the foul there. He already has a yellow card. He also has an assist in the 44th minute.
Wonderful. That was a beautiful assist. That back heel, that was perhaps the offensive play of the game. We saw the back heel assist to Mitch Hammer for the opening goal for both sides. That was the 1-0 goal for Omaha in the 41st minute, I want to say, or
29th minute.
29th minute.
I had it wrong. I said 44th for the goal. That was his yellow card.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. 10:45 remaining in regulation.
4 goals, 4 yellow cards, 1 red card. Other than that, not much has happened here.
It's some unbelievable saves from Tim Trilk.
Yes.
Pollard made an incredible save too,
yeah.
on that second goal, the first chance, and they were able to score on that second ball. But he made a diving stop as well.
And you got to think this is an advantage. You've got to think. Now, each time we've had that happen, it feels like, actually, it doesn't feel like, both Western Illinois goals have come right after fabulous saves from Tim Trilk. So you would think, based on the way that things are going now, Omaha gets the equalizer, a little less pressure on them. They've got the man advantage, and they've been generally the better side, even when it was 11v11. You would think that Omaha's got the advantage, but again, this is a very tricky Western Illinois side, and they don't score goals necessarily, again, when they're building up with a lot of possession. It tends to come on the counter. So this really is anybody's game right now. I would think that it's advantage Omaha, but again here, Brad, each time it's felt like advantage Omaha, that's when Western Illinois has scored.
Yeah, they've pulled out some some goals where the run of play has been favoring Omaha without question. They've had more chances. When you look on shots on goal, 8-3 favoring Omaha, but that's not always how it plays out. Gutierrez here trying to make something happen, and so creative, able to turn the corner that time and earn a corner kick coming up here.
He's been vintage Diego Gutierrez. We saw him a couple weeks ago here at the University of Denver Soccer Stadium, and he didn't look quite himself, to be honest about it. And now this is vintage Diego Gutierrez, just in time for the postseason.
And you could even see on that play, still got the juice in the legs, still got plenty of bounce as he sends that one in deep, and Trilk flying through the air, soaring up to get that one. Stevie C all the way back there. This one's going to go to Pollard. Able to get it up ahead to Ayats.
And now it's starting to get more and more into crunch time. You'd think if you get a goal here, it's not quite the game winner still, not quite to that level, but it gets, you score a goal here, minute 83, minute 84, it becomes more difficult for the opponent to, especially without injury time here in college soccer, that again, it gets tougher and tougher to get up with that equalizer. So getting into about that crunch time point.
Gutierrez again with it to Vase. He's wide open. Tough angle. Trilk able to make the save with the boot.
Get in.
Vase there, one-on-one with the keeper. Difficult angle. Trilk does what you have to do there. Watch it again. Wonderful ball there from Gutierrez. Just knowing he's got eyes in the back of his head, doesn't he? And sends it to Vase. Vase, again, tough angle and closing. Trilk does everything he can there. Make yourself big. Comes out from goal. Makes the stop.
Uribe was making a nice run in. You could see him behind Trilk with his hands up, but still the pressure's on. Trilk able to punch it out of there.
Marks!
Unable to clear it, though.
Get up, Marks!
Ayats, a ball in, trying to find the head of a teammate. Vase trying to line up a laser from the outside. That was deflected. Going to be a throw in here for Western Illinois.
I like Vase taking that shot there, though. You don't get too many opportunities like that. And if you're Vase, the one minor complaint I would have offensively with Omaha, despite the fact that I think they've turned in quite a nice performance and a goal kick coming here for Western Illinois, I think they've turned in a nice offensive performance, particularly the fact that they hadn't scored in over a month. The one complaint is I have seen them be a little bit unselfish at times, passing the ball in situations where they'd be better off just shooting it. And I like the fact that I thought Vase was going to pass in the middle and then it would get kind of muddied up in the middle of the penalty box. I like that Vase goes for goal in that situation. Again, I know it's a tough angle. I know that Trilk's been phenomenal there, and you were one-on-one with him, but I do like Vase going for goal there. 9
shots on goal for Omaha in this one, 3 for Western Illinois. Du Bois back in there, 24, and that's a nice matchup there when you look at Du Bois and Mateu. Dancer can't believe that call as he retreats.
Quite a game we got here. Again, this is, we still got another 5+ minutes to go. Again, I would still put my money on there being another goal in regulation still to come. Not a ton of money, but I'd put a little bit of money that maybe you got another goal left in regulation here.
You wonder about Western Illinois playing down a man from the first half when that red card came out. How much they have left in the tank. They've been holding on. Trilk has kept them in it, but do they have enough? They might have a chance here. Asaku, near side. And Mateu with a beautiful play there. Pep able to take it away. but quickly they give it back. Du Bois. Asaku trying to save it, and it's going to end up in a corner. His hard work ends up in a corner. Under 5 minutes to go here.
Well done there from Rinderknecht after the error from Mateu. But another an opportunity here for Western Illinois, and most importantly for them, it allows the defense a second to breathe here. They've been on their back heels throughout much of the half, but Rinderknecht coming over, making the sliding tackle and preventing that offensive opportunity.
Cosio, number 9, going to take the kick. Near corner. Into the middle of the box. And headed out of there by Omaha. Otska able to control it in the near corner. Ball going to Western Illinois here.
I wonder if is this a free kick or is this a throw in here? I believe this is actually a free kick, so is basically a de facto corner coming up here for Western.
Another chance to get set up. Cosio again will start things here. Fighting Leathernecks. They've been able to capitalize. You're talking about one team in Omaha that's had a million chances, found the back of the net twice. Much more efficient for Western Illinois here on the near side. Gutierrez trying to keep it alive and cannot, so that's going to be another corner here. Subs coming in, 1 for each team.
Wow. So Vase comes off. I like the minutes you saw from Vase, the sophomore from France. He comes off, and then it's Gomez back into the contest.
Cosio into the box. Headed out of there. Rinderknecht able to get to it first. Rinderknecht so solid defensively, always in the right spot, always first up to those headers.
He's a senior, like many of them on both sides of the field here, where loser goes home, and that's the end of their collegiate career.
Near side. The ball playing all the way across, popped up in the air and over the crossbar. Dangerous moment there for Omaha fans as Pollard was there, able to see that one over the bar.
My bet on a goal in the final few minutes of regulation is looking worse and worse here by the minute, as we got about 2 minutes and change to go. But Omaha, maybe another offensive opportunity coming here with about 2 minutes and change in regulation.
We'll be heading to overtime, be a golden goal situation if we end up in overtime. Dancer able to win that ball. Now he got fouled, so they will have it back. Under 2 minutes to go here in regulation.
I'm sorry, Brian. I was going to say there, you can see how slowly Western Illinois is going to the ball. They'd be thrilled to get to overtime, while I think Omaha trying to get things done a little bit earlier, or hoping for that opportunity here to get things done in regulation. Western Illinois obviously down a man and probably a bit more tired at this point than the Mavericks.
.70 seconds to go here. Rinderknecht with a long throw in. Clock continues to run, under a minute to play here. In regulation, 2-2. It was 1-0 at halftime. Omaha scoring in the 29th minute. Mitch Hammer started the scoring out. Then 2 in a row from Western Illinois. Daisuke Otsuka responsible for both of those goals, one on a penalty kick. Omaha trying for a late chance here. And Tim Trilk has been absolutely sensational back there. I know he's given up 2, but he's faced so much pressure, and 9 shots on goal overall and 7 saves. That whistle's going to go against Xavier Brown, but that's probably okay. It's just going to burn off most, if not all, of this clock here. Rinderknecht trying to get things going here quickly. Under 10 seconds to go. Trill can just hold it now as he goes down to the turf. And we are headed to overtime, tied at 2 here between Western Illinois, the #1 seed in this tournament, against the Omaha Mavericks. The Mavericks able to come back and get the equalizer in the 79th minute. Marcos Bautista able to put it in, and that's how we've got to this 2-2 tie. We are headed to overtime. Stay with us. Welcome back to the University of Denver Soccer Stadium alongside Chris Miyake. I'm Brad Thompson. Thanks for joining us. It's been an entertaining match, and we're going to get more of it because we are headed to overtime here. First overtime period will be 10 minutes, a golden goal situation. Then we would go to a second 10-minute overtime period if no one scores here in the first 10 minutes. And then to penalty kicks after that, and that's how this would work out. We've had a number of chances here in that second half where teams, it got tied in the 79th minute. Miguel Gomez to Marcos Bautista, and Omaha coming back down 2-1 and able to tie things up in the 79th minute. Those last 11 minutes or so, not a ton of chances, certainly favoring Omaha when they had the ball, possessed the ball a lot more and able to get it in pretty deep here. But the sun going down to the west here a little bit. It's at a tough angle right now. If you're Tim Trilk back in goal here, he's looking right into the sun in that direction, depending on which side of the field the ball comes in. But a beautiful fall day here in the Mile High City. Natural grass surface here at the University of Denver Soccer Stadium. And we've seen some terrific men's soccer as we expected. The top teams in the Summit League here, the number 1 seed, Western Illinois, the number 4 seed, the Omaha Mavericks. And they've played to a 2-2 tie thus far, and perhaps even more impressive is Western going down 1-0 in the first half. One of their best players, perhaps their best player, the Summit League Defensive Player of the Year, first team Summit League outside back, Paul Kurdorf, with a red card, having to leave the contest.
Ooh.
And yet they're still able to come back, and Stevie C there crashing in to the boards along that far side there, and he appears to be just fine, just slowed him down. But Kurdorf, the red card at the 41st minute, and it's been 11-on-10 there favoring Omaha, and you would imagine that, 9 shots on goal to 3, that seems pretty normal, but Tim Trilk has been up to the challenge. He's been outstanding, and Western Illinois able to just score in a blur. Their 2 chances, and they put 2 in a row in and had the lead in the second half in this one.
Yeah, it really was, frankly, a pretty one-sided contest in favor of Omaha. And Western Illinois, you know what? They've taken advantage of their chances, and you get credit for that, especially when you get those chances down a man. You've really got to take advantage of those opportunities, and the Fighting Leathernecks certainly have. From the Omaha side of things, you just got to basically, count on the fact that you have been the dominant team in this contest and be somewhat self-confident in that and continue to do what you've been doing, getting the ball to Diego Gutierrez, sending those favorable crosses into the box and taking good set pieces. That's what's gotten Omaha all these opportunities and continue to do that. And you would think that Omaha would be favored. That said, as something we were talking about at the end of regulation, when Omaha has had their best chances, Western Illinois has scored right after those, and it kind of suits Western Illinois' counterattacking style. So I don't mean to straddle the fence here, but this is really one of those games that could go very easily either way.
When you look at this tournament coming in general, as we were prepping for this, discussing this, one of those tournaments where a lot of times there's a heavy favorite to use the home team, but they're the number 3 seed. They've been the winner of the championship for a number of years in a row, but this one is wide open, and particularly, this game right here, this could go anyway. Omaha's had the chances, but Trilk has been the stopper back there and neutralizing really the attack. But here's another corner. They've had a ton of chances. This is the 11th corner for Omaha.
17, come on.
Gutierrez into the near post, headed out of there. Cosio able to get to it first.
You just wonder how much is left in Gutierrez's legs. He's played a lot of minutes here at altitude, but maybe another chance coming.
This one chipped into the middle. There it is. The winner. Omaha victorious. They advance. Wow. Just like that. They've had the chances. They haven't been able to get that final touch, and here it is.
And a wonderful ball in, and Mateu makes no mistake about it. A wonderful low driving header right into the corner for Western Illinois. It's heartbreak for the Mavericks, they live to see another day. They will be in the title game in the Summit League Final coming up on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Mountain Time for Mateu. It's the goal for the senior from Barcelona, Spain, and Mateu on the All-Summit League newcomer team. Tonight, the big goal for the big man, the center back, getting the goal. And again, it's hard to say that it wasn't deserved here for the Mavericks. They, I thought, played an overall outstanding match. How about this here, Brad? They hadn't scored in their previous 4 matches. They come up with 3 goals here this afternoon.
Mateu with the game winner. The assists credited to Diego Gutierrez and Mitch Hammer. Gutierrez had been all over the field. You talked about him being the best player out there and having the ball a ton of times, and he comes through with the assist. And Mateu, who's a grad transfer, this young man from Spain, is getting a grad degree in mathematics. Coach Warming saying he is off the charts smart when you talk about people and, you know, what kids are studying and what they're learning and what they want to go on to be after playing collegiate soccer. And he is the hero in this one. Hugs all around. Pep Mateu, the game-winning goal in the 94th minute. In first overtime, you could see they're pumping up the crowd as they are cheering him on. Omaha, the 4 seed, knocking off the number 1 seed, the Western Illinois Fighting Leathernecks. And a big hug there from Coach Warming to his senior, and there is the final score. Omaha advancing. They win it 3-2 in overtime, and they will play on Saturday afternoon against the winner of ORU and DU in the Summit League Men's Soccer Championship. For Chris Bianchi, Brad Thompson, everybody that made this broadcast possible, we thank you at home, wherever you are, for joining us and being a part of the broadcast and watching and listening. We've got more men's soccer to come. The Golden Eagles and the Pioneers will be up next. 4 p.m. kickoff for that start. Please join us for that. We got to see who the Mavericks are going to play. Chris, pretty special.
Absolutely. Should be a really good one here. Coming up in about an hour or so, in fact, about 45 minutes away from kick, and we'll have it for you right here as well. But how about that? Pep Mateu, his first goal as a Maverick, pretty important one, you might say, and it sends the Mavericks, and frankly here, Brad, again, deservingly. They played an outstanding match today. Hard to see from the Western Illinois side of things. I thought they battled valiantly, considering they were down a man for the majority of the contest, but I thought Omaha deserved the win, and they come out with the goods here this afternoon.
The Mavericks victorious. Their season goes on. For the Fighting Leathernecks, it's a tough one. Their season comes to an end. Coach Bob Warming and Pep Mateu and the Mavericks will play on their next match Saturday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. We will find out who they will play when ORU and Denver match up in just under an hour. Please rejoin us for that broadcast. And as we stand here, Mavericks victorious. They win it over the Leathernecks 3-2.